AmeriLife is an organization made up of many diverse individuals. We come from a wide range of backgrounds and represent a variety of roles. Each and every one of us brings something unique to AmeriLife. Together, we don't just deliver valuable insurance and retirement solutions to our customers, we help ease their worries by helping them prepare for the future and protect their loved ones. Since our founding in 1971, we've grown and evolved into a national industry leader. And as we begin our 52nd year, our focus on our mission remains as strong as ever. AmeriLife offers insurance and retirement solutions to provide peace of mind and help people live longer, healthier lives.
Hall of Fame winners succeed by consistently demonstrating AmeriLife's mission, its core values of honesty, excellence, accountability, integrity, and courage. The AmeriLife Hall of Fame honors those who have been instrumental in growing our company into the national marketing and distribution leader that it is today.
For 2023, AmeriLife is pleased to induct Dan Gunther into the Hall of Fame. Dan joined AmeriLife in 2010, and during his tenure, he's been involved in most of the proprietary annuity product and distribution deals for Prosperity Advantage Marketing, and has grown the business to over $1 billion annually in sales for each of the past 3 years.
Everybody faces adversity in their life, and we've had some challenges, we all do. During the financial crisis, we lost our insurance company. They took the keys, and that was probably one of the toughest times of our life. We went from having a lot of things to nothing overnight, other than we kept our home. So it's very humbling to go from feeling like you're on top of the world to falling off the cliff. So you have to take a hard look at yourself, and you don't always like what you see. My twin sister and I were born in Louisville, Kentucky, way back when, and we were adopted at birth, and then a number of years later our father died, and then we were adopted again a few years later. So we had some adversity in our lives early on, but what we learned early on was you can overcome it. And you learn, in our case, we learned early on that it's not insurmountable, but you have to try a little harder. And so that's the way I've tried to live my life. But, you know, when one door is closed, God opens another one for you. Now you have to work to see that that door gets open. Sometimes you have to work harder than others.
Yeah, Dan doesn't quit. He doesn't give up. And you don't get to the level that he has attained by taking shortcuts.
Incredibly blessed. We've met some great people along the way. We've had a lot of help from the folks at AmeriLife. Denny, Scott, Mike, they've all been very supportive of what we do. Billy Hill, who is no longer with AmeriLife, was in particular very instrumental in helping us, you know, back in the 2013-2014 range or time frame when we weren't doing that well. We were working really hard, but it hadn't quite clicked yet. And eventually it did, and I'm very thankful for it.
So I've known Dan probably since about 2008 when he first started with Prosperity Advantage. And so he came over to AmeriLife and really started Prosperity Advantage from the ground up. It was a startup. So if you consider starting the company really from the ground floor with no clients, no agents, no employees, and then fast forward to today, and they will probably do $1.5 billion of premium this year. So it's really an incredible story. And so Dan and his his amazing wife, Jan. Jan's probably as important to this award for Dan as anything because of how good she is. So you have to consider Jan was really a chief operating officer at an insurance company. And Dan was president and chief marketing officer at that insurance company. So they were a great partnership at a carrier, but then they brought that expertise actually to a marketing company. So we're really blessed to have them.
We have two rules at Prosperity Advantage. The two rules are don't cheat and don't quit. Now if you think about it, that covers a lot of land, right? Do the right thing, tell the truth, right? And don't ever quit. And there's a lot of easier ways, sometimes shortcuts people take. They bend the rules a little bit. It's a lot more rewarding, at least to me, to do it the right way, stay within the boundaries, be honest and up and forthright. But at the end of the day, we are in the business of helping people who help people. And I think that's a very noble profession, and I'm very proud of what we do.
Dan does the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I'm really confident that anyone that knows Dan or works with Dan would attest to the same thing.
Sometimes I think about of all the trials and tribulations that we endured in the beginning, and to get to where we are now has been a phenomenal journey. And there were times early on, I think about when my first daughter was born. Sorry. Excuse me. So my first daughter, Lorelai, was born prematurely, 2 months premature, and had a pretty dramatic entrance into the world, and almost didn't make it. And so, it's events like that, that really solidified who Dan and Jane were, because they were there. They were part of my life, and financially we struggled. We didn't know how would we be able to pay all these mounting bills and just the cost of everything. But they stood by our side and they pushed us, and they motivated us, and I'm so glad that we met, because our life today is incredible, and I owe a lot of that to Dan, Jan, and Prosperity Advantage.
Dan, Jan, and I are best of friends. And you don't find out who your best friends are, or who your friends are, your real friends are, until you've experienced some tragedies, some difficult things that occur in life, be they family, be they financial, whatever. And I like to think that the three of us have always been there for each other through thick and thin over these last number of years in ways that no one else has. They're like family, but that's an overused term. They are truly the very best of friends, and there is never any question where they stand and whether they will be there when the time comes. They will be.
They're genuinely care, about me and my family, and everybody that works for them.
I've been to marketing symposiums. I've shook hands with a lot of the other principals and other marketers at other organizations, and I think that there's no one more deserving of the Hall of Fame spot as a principal than Dan. Dan helps AmeriLife out, and AmeriLife helps out Dan so much with proprietary products and bringing new deals to the table, and he's always working an angle trying to get a new deal somewhere, somehow, that it's not so much for the revenue or the profit, it's to help out his marketing team. Every single day he will tell you that I work for you. It's my job to coach you and make you better.
The Hall of Fame recognition is, quite frankly, very humbling. I think there's others probably more deserving. I'm very honored, at this stage of my career to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I'm so appreciative, because to get from opening the doors 12 and a half years ago to where we've gotten to now is It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But again, I give credit to God to get us from 0 to $1.5 billion that we did last year. We've had a lot of luck, but I'm very honored, and I treat it with the seriousness and respect with which it deserves.
Dan, I'm absolutely thrilled and honored to be the one that inducts you into the Hall of Fame. You are the first principal to achieve this award on the annuity and retirement planning side, and so I want to congratulate you. Jan, I want to thank you as well. You both are a big part of this. So Dan, congratulations on being the inaugural member of the Hall of Fame at AmeriLife for annuity and retirement planning.
Dan, congratulations, and thanks for your off-the-court leadership. It's greatly appreciated.